week, maybe in couple, they, we are planning.
What's going on, 515? We're here in DeKalb Airport with Chris Juba, and we're going to talk about airplanes, owning your own airplane, and aviation. Chris?
Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate your time. Of course, this is something which is new for the aviation in United States. For the last 2004, they started, and this is the light sport airplanes.
Okay. And Chris sells airplanes, and how would you go about getting an airplane from you?
Of course, you can always go on my webpage, which is ecolatamerica.com, or just call me. I will get you settled and figure out what you want and how you want, and you can be the owner of the light sport, which you only need driver's license to fly, no medical.
Now, where do these airplanes come from?
They come from Poland. They built in Poland for the last over 40 years. Of course, start with the little bit of the gliding, and of course, over there, the situation with the light sport airplanes are a little bit earlier. 1996 allowed the European Union to fly those type of airplanes.
Can you tell us a little bit about this airplane behind us?
This one is the Topaz. The company which is Ecolot is working. They do three different airplanes. They do Topaz, which is the luxury one, a Junior, which is more sporty and for schools, and of course for people which they like the gliding, is ELF, which is a self-launching glider in Europe, but registered in United States as a regular airplane.
Now, what kind of airplane school do you have to go to in order to fly one of these little guys?
Oh, it depends on your ability, but most often all the schools at the airport, they will train you for the ground school. Later on, you pick it up CFI, which is Certified Flying Instructor, and he will teach you. I think if you are capable driving the car, that's the license required to fly this airplane, you'll be able to learn in approximately 5 to 7 hours of instruction.
All right. Now, what kind of horsepower does this airplane have behind us?
This one is Rotex engine, which is 912 ULS. S mean 100 horsepower. That's plenty for this particular airplane. In Europe, those airplanes flying with 80 horsepower, but in Europe, it's kind of a restriction on the fuel and will burn a gallon and a half, maybe more, 100 horse than the 80 horse.
Interesting. And these airplanes are made in Poland, and they're certified and taken apart, you were saying, and then they put them in a crate in a shipping container, and you bring them over. Then what do you do?
And of course, I put back together. Plus, I put some avionic when it's needed, and also which is required for American FAA standards. And of course, I certified airworthiness certification for these airplanes, and now you will own the airplane.
How much fuel does this airplane hold?
It's 26 gallon, which is good for like a 6 hours flying time, maybe around 600 to 650 miles flight.
How long have you been doing airplanes like this?
This is probably around 10 years right now, with a few years break because of the health problem.
Okay. Took a little break and then you got back to it. So how many airplanes have you built?
I put together 8 of this type and 1 of the ELF, plus I sold 2 ELFs for experimental testing ability.
And you sell these airplanes worldwide?
I cover Americas. This means I cover North America, Central and South America. But I did also sold one to Australia, Melbourne.
Excellent. So you had it brought to the United States, and then you assembled it, or did you have to go to Australia and assemble it?
The way how it was set up, then I assemble and I help with the sale to Melbourne, and I disassemble and pack the airplane and ship to Australia.
Excellent. Well, we're going to take a little walk around, and Chris is going to tell you about this airplane. This, what was it called again?
Ecolot Topaz. This is the Topaz model. As I mentioned, the Topaz is the company which built these airplanes, and they are Topaz Junior and L. And the web page, one more time, is letter EKOLOT Americas.com.
All right, let's take a look at this airplane.
Let's go. We are inside in the airplane. This airplane is the Topaz, made in Ecolot company. This one is design copy from Apollo 11 went to the moon. They have the throttle on the both sides of the cockpit, and they have the joystick in the middle. The joystick's got the 5 buttons, which they are trim and flaps. Also the push to talk button. The red handle is the brakes, Bellinger brakes. Those are one of the best, and they are braking the main gears. You control the nose with the steering nose wheels on the taxi. This airplane's got only one in the United States, which's got electrical seats adjustment. You can sit down and adjust the seat like in a car electrically. It's got also yaw trim, which adjusted electrically. Touch screen will give you the charts, will give you also the traffic and also the weather. For the older people, you can set up the 6-pack, and the younger people can set up whatever they feel like is open system. This is the Canadria. We got lights for night flying in requirements. Also the basic gauges in case of electronic problems. This is the leather. Of course, this airplane's got the ballistic parachute, which in case of the emergency, you can land it 280 feet will be active. This airplane's also glide. This airplane glide a ratio 1 to 15. This means for some people which they enjoy it, they can always check the ability how they are doing. This particular one's got the leather Italian suede and very comfortable to fly for long distance, which I am doing often, sometimes twice a year, going to Florida. If any questions, you can always find my webpage or give me a call. I mentioned earlier, EcolotAmericas.com.
All right, we're going to go on a nice little flight here. We'll catch up with you guys in the air.
In air. You will step out and go backward. I will not shut the engine. Okay. We will land up. I will taxi over here. You will step out and walk backward. Whoever is next will come out from the back and step in. All right? All right. Sit down on the ledge. Okay. All right. As everything else, this is like in a regular airplane. You have to have the seats belt on, and I have to show you how to connect and disconnect, like a stewardess, you know. But I will be a stewardess and pilots and everybody. Okay. All right. To open, you squeeze bottom and top, you see? And to close, you just push this in. All right?
Okay.
On the bottom. I turn the ignition key on it. All right? And what's happened is I check. I pump the fuel for the pressurize the ignition, you know, and of course, after when I pump it, I am telling, clear the prop. When I clear the prop, I start the engine. We check the brakes, okay, and we block the brakes. You ready?
Ready.
All right.
All right, Chris, thank you very much for taking some time with us. And we went up in your airplane, had a great day, had a lot of fun, and we really appreciate it.
I appreciate coming. I hope that more people will be introduced to the light sport, which is really something for people to enjoy flying and very quick to learn. And for the young people, this is some opportunity to start going for commercial flying.
Wonderful day here in the DeKalb Airport with Chris. Have a good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. This was a great time.